Hello everyone, our team was working on an inventory management system with product catalog. Our team consists of Prabjot, Frederick, Sahil and myself, Dharmik Kumar. This is an overview of our presentation structure. We're going through the introduction, existing works, project overview and finally concluding and talking about future direction. The basis of the project was that there are many large stores which have large amounts of products to maintain details on. Each product has varying features, hence it may be a challenge to store all features of all products in a relational database system, as it's not flexible and can perform slower with large amounts of data. Moving on to the existing work we looked at, the first one we looked at was based on a Java SE, which is a desktop program. It lacked security features. Since it was based on SQL database, there was possibility of SQL injection and there were no real-time updates. The second one was a bit more secure since it was using CodeIgniter, which eliminates things like SQL injection automatically, but it's also based on MySQL, which is an RDBMS, which is not flexible and can be slow to run complex queries. I'll pass it on to now Sahil to take us through the rest of the presentation.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sahil Verma, and I'll be going over the project overview. So for our project, we'll be talking about how we implemented a NoSQL database. We actually ended up using MongoDB. We will show the front end, which contains real-time updates using GraphQL. So that means that we can actually start making changes, and you can start to see the updates apply in real time without having to refresh the page. We'll be going over the data analytics portion, which is where we used our machine learning algorithms on our data to predict monthly sales. We'll be also showing how we derived a fast solution using this machine learning method and how we have a secure database for authentication. And then, of course, we have our GitHub links, which show the front end, the back end, and the GraphQL portion. Okay, so for this portion, we'll be going over the project architecture. We have two servers, the user node server and the analysis server. The user node server connects to both of our databases, the Firestore database and the MongoDB database. The Firestore database contains all of the user information, and then our user node server takes that information and authenticates the user. Then we have the MongoDB database, which contains one collection of two data sets, one for electronics, one for shoes, and that contains roughly 26,000 pieces of information, which then connects to our analysis server where we ran two machine learning algorithms, which was Spark and sklearn. It was difficult to implement Spark into our code, so we ended up scrapping it and implementing the sklearn machine learning algorithm, which we can run predictions on. I'll now pass it off to Frederick to continue with his part of the presentation.
Thank you, Sahil. So I'm Frederick, and I'm going to talk about some features we have implemented. So we use the MongoDB to store our products. The MongoDB has a single collection that consists of a large volume of data, which is over 26,000. And they are in different schema. And we also filter some of the data to improve the performance. For the web page, we connect to two different databases. One of them is Firebase, and the other one is the MongoDB mentioned. We also achieve the real-time updates with the GraphQL API. We also have a data analytics server, which is made in Python. And we also investigate using Spark to speed up the training process. We also try to predict the sales using the data we have in MongoDB. The two algorithms we used are multi-layer perceptrons and linear regression. We also tried to use Spark with linear regression, and it works around 3 times faster than the original method we had in linear regression. And with predicting the sales, the users can go to the page, enter some details which will be demonstrated in the demo, and the server will handle the request.
Thank you, Frederick. I'm Prabjot, and today I'll be demonstrating our application. So let's first start with the authentication and user workflows. So as you can see, there are no users registered currently. We are using Firebase for this authentication and user purpose because it's easy to use and set up, and also we wanted to learn a new database. So we are using Firebase. So now let's just quickly register a new user. So we have registered a new user here, and also a collection has been made in the Firestore DB for that user. And now what you can see is if we sign out and try to log in, You can also log in using Google in this application, which is something provided by Firebase and which we have implemented. And now I'll choose my default account and it signs me in. And if we go to the users, we can see there's a new user provider is Google. Now if we sign out, log into the account that we created previously, you can see that we can log into the account, and now we can browse the different shoes and electronics. You can see that we have this MongoDB database. It has a products collection. This collection has around 26,636 documents, out of which there are two categories, and electronics have 7,196 documents, and shoes has 19,000 documents around. And now we can, check these out. For some, there is no image available. That's fine. These are shoes. And now we can see that if we try to buy this, it's a mounting bracket for TVs and monitors. So if we try to buy this, it gets updated when we click buy. In our collection here, the ID of the bought item is saved. It's CAD. We can check this ID again, CAD. And we can also analyze the sales of the item. So now we can see that the total amount of sales for these are 290. So if we buy again, the sale is updated. I pressed twice. So the sale is updated, and this happens in real time. It has again increased because we're using GraphQL to do this. GraphQL can be used for other purposes as well, and it's very good and better than the REST-based API. So we're using GraphQL. Next, we have analysis. You can analyze how much product will be sold in the coming month. So here, for the default values, Boyton brand, there will be 7 units sold in the coming month. We can see the Boyton brand here. And if we now try to analyze shoes, we can see that, let's say for a brand that we all know, Puma, if we'll try to predict the sales using linear, let's say this time we'll use multi-layer perceptron for the fields where the condition of the shoes is new, the gender is men, color is black, the price is 15. It predicts 9 units will be sold next month, which is really good. I mean, $15 for a Puma, really great. Thank you.
So in conclusion, we use two databases in our project. With MongoDB, we use the NoSQL, which is very flexible for different products. And for Firebase, it's more secure, so we store the personal data inside. And we use GraphQL API for the real-time updates, and we train some classifiers using machine learning techniques. We can further improve our projects by adding privileges or using Graph database to speed up the performance. These are some references we have. And this is the end of our presentation. Thank you very much.